Earlier this month, Victoria Conklin successfully organized her Starbucks store in Buffalo, New York, meaning they were able to unionize. But unfortunately, that turned her into a target by her employers, and all they needed was one little mistake to fire her. And sure enough, that's what happened. She was recently fired by management in a clear case, if you ask me, of retaliation. Now, the management's reason for firing her was absurd. She says, they fired me because they scheduled me to do a clopening, which is when you close the store and open it the next morning. And I overslept and I was late by 20 minutes. But the store opened on time. We didn't lose any customers or anything. The only thing I couldn't serve when we opened was iced tea because it takes about 5 minutes to steep. So accidents happen. It's not the end of the world. And she had never been late in the 5 years that she had worked there, ever. So this is not like some sort of issue they had with her where they had given her warnings and then eventually they just couldn't take it anymore. No, it was just the one time she was late and they scheduled her in a way that I think should be banned, right? Where you close the store. And by the way, I worked as a barista for Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. I've had that shift, right? I close the store and then I have to be back. It feels like a few hours later, you barely get any time to sleep. And so I luckily am a morning person and I was able to wake up. But some people oversleep because it is an impossible and difficult schedule. Nonetheless, when Starbucks workers first started to unionize, Victoria actually was not in favor of that effort. But after witnessing how Starbucks was engaging in vicious union busting, she changed her mind. From August to November of 2021, Conklin's store was regularly visited by Starbucks's then president, Roseanne Williams, who frequently asked her what changes she hoped to see in the store, then orchestrated improvements that addressed the issues. Later, though, she learned that what Williams was doing was known as soliciting grievances, which is actually illegal during union campaigns under NLRB rules. That's the National Labor Relations Board. Now, management instructed her not to let workers form a union or to allow workers from union stores to take shifts at their store. She says, quote, I was supposed to come up with a reason that they couldn't make the shift. Then my manager would just make a bunch of illegal comments like, quote, I don't want union people working here, or these union people are so annoying, thank God it's never gonna come here. But it turns out it did end up coming there with the help of Conklin organizing this. Starbucks workers at the Elmwood location went on strike to protest the company's mask policy, and soon Conklin joined them. I was told that you can't ask customers to wear masks, and I was like, I don't think so. And so I went to the picket line and signed my union card. Cenk.
Okay, so context matters, especially in cases like this. So if an employee's doing something wrong consistently, like she shows up 20 minutes late every day, every other day, or consistently in some way, and then she goes, hey, I'm a union organizer, you can't fire me. No, that's BS, right? You do it once in 5 years and they fire you, then it's super obvious what's happening. They were just looking for an excuse. Clopening or not, let's acknowledge that that's a fun word.
It absolutely is, yeah.
Yes, and so obviously in that context, they're saying, okay, just one infraction and you're done. That's not normal. No, they're obviously, especially given the context about what they've said about unions, how they've fought unions tooth and nail, they're clearly trying to get rid of any union organizer. And by the way, Starbucks stock is plummeting. Starbucks is a company that largely appeals to people who are a little bit more on the left. That's why the right wing, I don't know why.
Limousine libs.
Yeah, I don't get it, right? But that's why Tucker Carlson attacks them on a regular basis, et cetera. And Howard Schultz, their CEO, he came back to be their CEO, he's their founder, was thinking about running as either a Democrat or an independent last time. Now it turns out he's super conservative on economic issues, but he considers himself a Democrat. Washington considers him a Democrat. But so now they're attacking their own customer base, going, no, we'll fire anyone that's doing union organizing, but come have coffee and hang out at Starbucks.
So it gets worse, Cenk. It gets much, much worse, okay? Because this union organizer's experience at Starbucks started to get worse because of how she was treated by another worker there. And the response from her employer was pretty disgusting. She said, my old manager started terrorizing me any way she could. I'd been getting sexually harassed by another partner at work, and she told me that I was lying about it. She said that if I told anybody the lie that he'd been sexually harassing me, it basically was grounds for termination and that I should watch my mouth.
When you go to your manager about sexual harassment and they say you should watch your mouth, why don't you just say, I mean, that's exactly when you should sue, right? So, look, there are situations where you can say things in the office that are outrageous and your manager will rightfully say, hey, wait, there's a better avenue to do that, right? And there's the right avenue to do that. But you can't say I'm being sexually harassed and the manager goes, why don't you shut your mouth? What? That's crazy.
But her coworkers, in showing solidarity and also witnessing what was going on, spoke up about it, and luckily that guy got fired. And on June 16th, the store voted 7-4 to unionize, and she was fired just 6 days later. Just 6 days later.
Gee, I don't understand. Come on, look, Starbucks has been absolutely brazen about this. And I would be shocked if the extra cost that they would have gotten through a union contract would have made anywhere near the difference that the market cap that they've lost because of their anti-union efforts. So it also doesn't make any economic sense. And so it looks like now Howard Schultz is on a personal ideological crusade that to fight the union no matter how much it costs them.
Yep.
And that just makes no sense at all. And don't come to us telling us you're, oh, it's a family and stuff. For small businesses, yes, okay? But for a giant corporation like Starbucks, this is not how a family acts.
Absolutely. And finally, Richard Minter, who is the organizing director for Workers United, gave us a statement. So this is a statement given to us. He says, the heinous attack by Starbucks against these partners is unlike any I have ever witnessed. Made up allegations, sinister plotting, targeting supporters, mean-spirited and meant to hurt the workers. Starbucks doesn't deserve such loyal, devoted staff. So they're fighting back against her termination. We'll follow this story and see if there are any updates in the future. But look, I think these stories are important because it shows you the people who take to the picket line, people who engage in the strikes, and that's of course after they've been unionized, they do put a lot on the line. Union organizers put a lot on the line, especially when they're up against a massive, highly successful corporation like Starbucks. But people are fighting back. They're sick of this, they're disgusted by this, and I'm just really happy to see people remaining defiant despite the retaliation they're likely to face.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.